Hello Pisces, welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and be receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I'm merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. Okay. Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading, Pisces, is you. And this is a 5 of Cups. All right. Let's put that into some context. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I do this, I would also like to say that if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, Pisces, please let me know in the comments. Okay. We're going to finish up here, the path of the serpent. A lot of majors over here, a lot of air energy. Let's do a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to stick with Rider-Waite-Smith. And this is the card that we are going to set aside. We're not going to look at it. One more little shuffle. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading. And hopefully this will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. Put the frog right there on top of it. Let's see what we've got. We've got some earth. We've got some air and some water. We've got some air and some fire and some majors. So it's fairly balanced. It's fairly balanced. We do see these two major arcana cards over here, which I think are going to be fairly important. These are some major forces, some very strong spiritual forces in your life right now. And I feel like with the path of the dove here, it's earth and air and water. 2 and then 2 and 2. Okay? We don't see the fire on the path. The fire's over here. And so this is kind of a I'm feeling like there's a miscommunication in your physical environment that's causing a little bit of an emotional stir. Okay, let's start with the 5 of Cups. Let's get into it. 5 of Cups. You're feeling some mixed emotions about things. You're a person who is usually very optimistic. You're very cheerful, I think, usually. You may be a little bit introverted, but you're a happy person. I think that you enjoy your solitude. I think that you enjoy kind of working on your projects. You enjoy doing things with either by yourself or with just your close friend, your closest family, you know. But there's something going on right now that is causing a little bit of this cheerfulness, this optimism, this happiness to kind of take a turn, right? I think you're having some mixed feelings about stuff right now. And I really feel like it has to do with some sort of communication that you're waiting for. I feel like you need to speak with someone, and the fact that they may not be available or they may not be around is rather difficult. Okay? I feel like there's something in your life that you really are looking for clarity about, and I feel almost that you're trying to open yourself up to receive a message about this. Okay? Now, I'm reminded of the last reading that we did for you, and you were engaged in something quite serious that had quite far-reaching implications. And we said last week that you were under divine protection. I still feel like you are. I feel like now you are still under the divine protection. But now I feel like it is manifesting as, a physical safety and security, right? It's like kind of that you're in your home with the door locked and you feel safe, you feel secure. You're kind of doing your own thing, but you really you're waiting for a message. You're waiting for a communication about what to do next, right? Because right now you're not feeling so good about things, and I'm almost getting this a slight sense of abandonment or isolation going on, okay? But I think this clarity is coming your way. I think that there is a communication that is kind of being sent to you that I think we need to open ourselves up to. I think it could be that it's kind of being blocked by some of this air energy. The air and the earth really don't get along, elementally speaking, right? The air and the earth kind of interfere with each other. So I feel like some of this isolation, and I don't think it's necessarily isolation, but this focus on just the physical, right? It's like we're trying to just be present in our body. We're trying to be aware of our physical sensations. We're trying to just kind of do the routine, the mundane stuff. And we're feeling like there's something missing. We're feeling like we're missing that spiritual connection. We're missing that interaction or that dialogue with the divine, with the spiritual realm. Okay. But I feel like that message is on its way to you, or it's trying to get in, but it's almost like we're too solid right now, It's like we're too physical at the moment. We're too much like in the kind of lower chakras. We're existing down here. We're existing just in nature and in our castle, right? We're building the walls. We're just stacking up earth, right? Very heavy on the earth. And I think that the air energy, which to me it's not really able to penetrate all of this earth. It's like we've set up our defenses, but we're keeping the friendly forces from getting in too. We've blocked like everything, We thought we were building this moat and these castle walls to keep out the enemy, the negative energy. But we're keeping out the good energy too. We've maybe built the walls too high, or we forgot to put a door, or we forgot the secret knock or something. Because I feel like this air energy, I feel like it's a communication from spirit, directly from spirit. We have this Fool energy over here, and this Fool energy is spirit. Okay. I feel like this message is trying to get to you through whatever medium spirit is choosing to get this message to you. Okay. I think it is probably through some kind of a non-physical intelligence, a non-physical entity. That is trying to bring you word from the divine. And I think that you are kind of lamenting the fact that you haven't heard anything, right? That there's been no communication, that there's been, you feel that you've kind of been abandoned a little bit. But you have not, okay? You have not been abandoned. I think what's going on is this kind of the focus on the physical and the building up of our defenses is kind of keeping everything. It's almost like we've turned the radio off, and then we're wondering why there's no music playing, wondering why we're not hearing the news. Well, we turned the radio off. But you didn't unplug it. So now we just kind of have to turn it back on, right? Let's go to the recent past with the Princess of Discs. I think that you have been accomplishing a lot on the physical plane. I think that whatever this situation is that you're involved with, you've been making progress. You've been making moves. Perhaps you're starting to see results. Okay. And I think the more results you see, the more you may have started to feel as if that you didn't need anybody else. You know, you started to feel like, we could do this all on our own. We need no assistance. We've mastered this situation. We are capable of creating on our own. And I think you are, and I think that's what you've been doing. But then we're wondering why we're not hearing the music, or we're not able to listen to the news. We've turned the radio off. We feel like we don't need the radio anymore. On an unconscious level, I don't think you did it intentionally to kind of block this air energy, this communication. But what ended up happening was we've built these walls. We started to feel as if, if these walls are good, let's go a little higher. This situation worked out well, and I succeeded. I accomplished my goal. Let's try a bigger goal. Let's keep going. Let's keep building. And that's a great thing. I think you really are making progress in your physical kind of horizontal life. But meanwhile, we see the fluctuation of this water energy. Okay. I feel like something is kind of lacking. You're feeling a drain of some of this spiritual energy, some of this loving, kind of nourishing water. Okay. And that's what I think we need to get back to, because I think that with so much of this physical focus, this earthly kind of focus, we are creating too much interference that prevents the air energy from getting into us. And the air energy coming in, this communication, this relationship that we have with spirit, with the divine, is what kind of allows this water energy into our lives. So this is the Six of Swords down beneath the surface. I think Spirit has a plan for you. Okay? And I don't know why, Pisces, we've been having very, very spiritual readings for you lately. I feel like there is a plan in all of this, but you're not going to receive the communication if we've turned the radio off. Okay? So you've got to maybe work on building the antenna again, right? Getting that radio switched back on. Focus on some of your spiritual practices again. Do your meditations. Do your rituals, your prayers. Do whatever it is that you used to do that would kind of turn the radio on, that would, tune the antenna so that you could receive the spiritual downloads. You could receive the communication from Spirit. And even as we talk, I feel like my ability to communicate is being interfered with, right? That's strange. Excuse me. Because I feel like we've just gotten so wrapped up in the world down here that we have maybe put off some of our other practices. Whatever we would do to kind of cleanse the channel and to open ourselves up so that we could be receivers of that spiritual light, that spiritual communication. Okay. And I do think that Spirit has a plan for you. There is kind of a next step to this. There is a broader structure to this. There is a blueprint for you, but it's something that we're unaware of right now because, again, we've turned off that radio. But if we can tune back into Spirit, if we can open that channel back up again, in comes this loving, water, this nurturing, abundant spiritual water, right? And this is going to restore you. This is if you're in the desert. You're in the spiritual desert. There's this dryness. There's this dryness. And that's what happens when the air cannot penetrate all of this earth. It just creates dryness. But now here comes this water energy, because we've tuned in. We've allowed this air energy now to penetrate us, right? And it finds this water and brings this water out. Now we've got this well. Now we've got this fount. And I think this restores you. And this, I think, is what ultimately is going to lead to the presence of this fire energy on the path of the serpent, because we don't have fire here. We don't have this divine will. We don't have this will to action. We don't have this spiritual force and fire in us right now. We've got this earth. We've got this dryness. But we can open ourselves up again, right? We could let in that communication. That will restore the water, and then we're restored with the fire. The fire builds up again. Then we've got all of the elements in perfect harmony, which is this, the art or temperance card. The perfect harmony of the elements, and that leads to this kind of spiritual activation, right? The Three of Cups, this is the result of you tuning back into spirit, okay? And this is a really, really awesome feeling. I think anyone who's listening to this has experienced some sort of spiritual dryness before. I think it's nothing new. But when that flood of water comes, when the first sip of that water comes, it's so amazing. It's so just spectacular and wonderful and joyous. And I think that first sip is going to lead to just an abundance of water, overflowing with the spiritual water. And this, I think, is going to lead to the perfect configuration of the elements, of the elemental energy for you. And that leads us here to the path of the serpent with this art or temperance card. This is the perfect blending of all of the elements. You've got your earth. I think you're very good at the earth stuff right now. We've got to tune into the air a little bit more. We've got to get the water back flowing. And then that fire comes in. That strength, this spiritual fortitude, the divine will, the force and fire coming from spirit. Because fire does double duty. It's fire, but it's also spirit. It's the element of fire, but it's also the fifth element of spirit. This is the kind of flip side of fire is the connection to spirit, right? This is where you are resonating with spirit and you are united with spirit. It's through this fire energy. But first we have to balance the elements. We have to activate all of the elements, activate the fire, and then from this fire, it's like the wand and the tip of the wand. It's like Michelangelo's, that one, the David or something. That's the, where fire becomes that electricity, you know. But it's about the blending and the harmonizing and the activation first. And that is going to restore us and connect us with spirit again. Now, the next card in your environment is the Fool. This is the air energy. This is, on the one hand, the dryness, the wandering around in the desert. As the Fool, you don't know that you're dying of thirst. You don't know even to look for a well. You're oblivious to that fact, right? That's on the one hand. On the other hand, There's wisdom in this, because it is also through this dryness that we purify ourselves and prepare ourselves so that we can activate these elements and activate spirit in our lives in a more intimate, more intense way. So there's wisdom in that. So on the other hand, you are experiencing this dryness and this thirst, and you are in the desert. But that is to purify yourself. And when the time is right, when you have opened yourself again, you've turned the radio back on, you've fixed your antenna, then you can start this work and balance these elements, activate these elements. So there's a lot of wisdom in that. And that's the difference between just the fool, really, and the wise person. You know? So I feel like this is your path. This is your choice, kind of, you know? Anyway, I'm really feeling this one. Because this water energy, when it does come, it's going to be such an amazing experience for you. And I feel like or at least in that moment, all of your worries are going to be over. All of your concerns, everything that you lament, all of the negative emotions that you might be experiencing right now are going to be gone. And that's, of course, we're not eliminating trouble and problems and struggle. Struggles will always be there. But you will be completely spiritually activated. And you will be able to handle anything that comes your way. The keyword for this card is strength. Right? This is the fire and the connection to spirit that gives us strength, that is strength, that allows you to meet any challenge face to face, head on, right? Because you have activated your elements. You've got your spiritual armor on. Okay, now the last card here. This is literally the message coming in from above, from spirit. We see those, the 3 doves here as well. To represent the Trinity, to represent any of the kind of triads that we might experience, to also represent the earth, air, and water that we see on the path of the dove. That if we can activate those 3, we can get to this fire and this spiritual energy. So I think the work really is necessarily right now for you to open yourself up to the communication coming from spirit, because you still have work to do, right? There still is a plan. There still is a blueprint for what you're meant to do. It could be that you've been resisting that. You know, it could be that part of you is just wants to just live your routine life and get into the rhythm of this horizontal world, and that's fine. And you want to make sure that's enough. That's all I need. But there's this nagging feeling in you that something's missing. But you feel that dryness. Well, that's because this communication, this information, this download is the whistling wind around your house that's just looking for that little crack so it can get in, and it can enliven you, it can inspire you, and it can activate all of these elements. I want to look at that mystery card. Let's see. I would like some more fire energy, I think. I think this could be, I don't know. Maybe it'll be the Fool again. I don't know. I don't have a speculation. No, it's the Sun. See, that one I should have been able to predict. That's the Sun card. This is the full activation of spirit, right? This is a symbol of all of these elements being activated and the fire spiritual element being activated. This is you as a spiritual sun, right? The sun, the physical sun, is a symbol of the spiritual soul, of the spiritual sun, right? Of the soul. And so this is the confirmation that, look, you can be right back at this activation level. But we've got to make the effort to open ourselves up to that again, to let this air energy in, to experience the water, to find the fire, activate the fire and the spirit. And you will be this fully realized spiritual being, the spiritual warrior, this sun. This is full spiritual activation here. Okay? And this is all part of the blueprint. Because this is the 6 of swords, and the 6 represents the sun. The 6 is the center of the tree of life. Right? It is the central sphere upon which and about which everything else depends and revolves, and it's all centered upon the 6, upon the sun, just like the sun in our solar system. All of these planets revolve around, are dependent upon that sun. And you are at the center of this plan that Spirit has for you, God, Goddess, deity, whatever you want to call it. You are at the center of that plan. And that's a heavy responsibility. But you will be heavily rewarded for the role that you play, spiritually rewarded with this fulfillment, with this activation, with all of this love and grace and beauty and joy coming from Spirit. Right? Being close to Spirit is the reward itself. Being partaking of even a drop of this water is reward in and of itself. All right? We've got to work towards this full activation, this initiation into your true role, right? What Spirit has planned for you, your true self, your guardian angels, your spirit guides. Those are the messengers. Those could be these court cards, these swords here, leading you to your ultimate fulfillment, this spiritual activation, this sun energy. Okay? So let's all take some time today, as a little bit of homework, and let's meditate upon the sun card. Read some notes about it, research it, look into it, think about it. Because this is the first stage in this greater plan for you. We have to get here. We have to get to the sun. And from there, we can go to wherever else is part of this plan, this blueprint. Whatever else Spirit has in store for us, it begins with us reaching this sun energy. Okay? We're going to go ahead and do an extended Pisces. If you want to stick around for that, please click on the link right there. You can have access to all of the extended readings. I feel like this was a very important message for all of us, but for Pisces especially. Okay. I want to thank you for stopping by and for letting me read for you. And I really do hope you'll come back and see me again soon.